that was the Myers fan 25. Doing a cameo. He was supposed to watch the movie. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, 2012.
And he's laying down.
This is a Thanksgiving-themed horror 80s slasher, even though it's not really. It's just set on this weekend.
And you think it's going to be awesome because it's like, horror and Thanksgiving, okay.
They don't really build up those themes. Even though it was made in 1981, it's got like a combination of that late 80s style comedy mixed with like 70s drawn out exploitation filler.
What it is also that camera's got that 70s feel, so you can't even feel the scene, so you're just like, okay, every scene's boring as hell.
And then just comedy, you don't see that much comedy in early 80s slashers as you do as this one.
But the first intro scene, though, is like a comedy where you...
Okay, let me tell you the basic concept first before he gets into that. It's an escaped 26-year-old psycho, and he immediately already has scored some angel dust. So
he gets out.
So he's running around butt naked.
Wet.
Butt naked. PCP, angel dust. And you're like, oh, he's probably on PCP. And then he runs over an old lady in the middle of... This is the first scene.
An old lady drops a bag of groceries, and then he just runs over, and there's blood all over the windshield. It's like a freeze frame on her. And then he's just laughing, and then it's like, home, sweet home, and all red and black. And you're like, oh...
He's definitely on PCP.
And then you're like, he's definitely on PCP. He's not even home yet, and he's already killing bitches.
And then it's like a cutscene, like he's already home, even though he isn't even coming home. He just shows up at someone's random property.
And it's freaking this random cat.
And he's still got the blood, like, smeared all over his windshield. Like, he didn't even run the windshield wipers.
He's just going through town, driving around with blood all over, like Johnny Knoxville.
And anyway, so then he's all
It's
hyped.
a random freaking cast, okay? This is where we meet the cast. And right when they first meet them, they're just making out. It's like everyone just making out, the two couples in the back
So
seat.
there really is no suspense or mystery. And then the characters...
And then it's a clown.
Hold up, the random group of people, it's out in this middle of this ranch out in the middle of nowhere. And these people totally just wouldn't be friends in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Or they wouldn't even meet up
so they go on to
They wouldn't be close enough to meet up on Thanksgiving. And then, like, it's just bad lines, bad acting, all the above.
Can't even feel it because the camera, the 70 feel in it. You can't feel it at all. So it's boring.
There's only one good death scene. He jumps on the hood of a car when a guy's checking out his car outside.
And smashes his dome.
And it comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, it's pretty dope.
Yeah. Of course, they had to use a strangle death, and they're like Michael Myers, but you're like, okay, great. This is it. For one scene.
I know.
It goes quick.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But it's a lot of filler in between all these kills.
So anyway, all these random...
And also there's a little girl that's freaking there.
And then all these random people start missing.
Her, like every 20 minutes.
And the little girl is played by Lee Vanessa Shaw from Hocus Pocus.
The hot bitch, not the little girl in Hocus Pocus. The older one that he goes trick-or-treating.
Yeah, she was like 17 in that movie, and she's only like 6 or 7 in this movie. Just
and they
literally
show
a little
her, like,
girl.
every now and then throughout. It's retarded.
And it's all blurry, and you can't even tell that it's her.
And the whole time the adults are having sex. And,
So people start missing, and they get Thanksgiving dinner ready, and it's getting all cold, and they start having sex
again.
And then the little girl starts eating dinner, and she's under the dinner table, and they're like, "What? You couldn't wait for us?" And you're like, "What the hell? The dinner's getting."
Of course, you can wait. You guys
it was like
sex.
It was like 9 o'clock at night, and it's Thanksgiving, and they're having sex while she's doing nothing.
While the food's already done.
She was like the only 7-year-old. Everyone else was like 25 and older.
And then there was the one other character who was like the old guy. The PCP act was in the freaking trees and the brush like forever. The camera shit. That's another filler scene to show him, which is his POV, and it's the ranch guy with the mustache cowboy, and it's like another character that wouldn't even be there. You're like, what the hell?
So then they don't show shit in death scenes.
And the whole time that freaking clown's like a total cockblock for all of them.
Yeah, they have a guy as comic relief dressed up as a mime. Like with the paint
with a guitar,
like the whole movie,
strapped to a backpack, freaking.
They basically combined
a backpack stereo.
They basically combined a geek mixed with like the weird kid mixed with like a hippie mixed with like a clown.
Whoever wrote these characters
one character
is an idiot.
And then the characters would just totally spontaneously bust out and just say random shit.
Okay, we gotta. Alright, and then they're like, alright, so a couple characters go to get the alcohol, the chicks, and then
they do real digits. They do show the tits. That's just filler.
That's filler for
They
show
milk about
cops
every
told-
scene that you
yeah,
can see coming,
it's
of course.
terrible.
Anyways.
And then the ending, they
So
milk
anyway,
that
hold up.
both
Okay,
run
shut up,
through
shut
the
up.
night.
The guy fills the wood burner in his banana
Oh
polo.
yeah, it comes down to the last couple, just the girl and the guy with the banana pole.
No, and it was like the nerdy kid, the clown with the girl, the foreign girl, and he realizes he sees the foreign girl dead, and he's like, he's a psycho. He thinks the nerd did it, and then you ready for the worst? You ready for the worst line? She's like, "Oh no, what are we gonna do if he is?" And he's like, "I got the bright idea. We're going back into the house and we're locking it up." And then the rest of the movie is just
7 minutes goes by, and then he's like, "Dude, it's been 7 hours."
And they're just shining flashlights at each other's faces.
It goes on
for the final 20 minutes.
It's terrible.
Meanwhile, the killer, who's credited as a guy named Jake, and they call him the killer in the credits.
In the credits, it just says "Killer." This is his name. Here's the actor who played the killer.
It's like so. It's like almost as
it.
anonymous as like the Final Exam killer, but not as anonymous as him. They at least
the killer just says.
So he doesn't say anything the whole movie. He's just feeling his oats, feeling his buzz.
He says grunts because he's on PCP.
And you're like, he can't still be feeling his buzz, can he?
And then he gets to the last scene, you're like, of course. He has a knife in his back, and he's got blood all over him, he's got a knife in his hand.
And it's the next day, and you're like, he's still feeling his buzz.
It's daylight, and he's still feeling
his schizophrenic side effects.
He's still feeling his $10 sack buzz. A PCP.
And you're like,
from Ipsy.
You're like, dude, I'm strung out just watching.
And then the cops show up, and they're like, "Hey, stop!" And they're like, "Oh, we had to kill the suspect." And they're calling on the radio, and it's just Phil. And then like the only people that live is the little girl and the mom, and you're like, "This is retarded."
D plus the rant, home sweet home,
because it's just filler scenes and terrible.
Because of everything that we just said.
Terrible acting.
Yeah, they know that's just redundant. Shut up. This was JBM and L-Mid. We're out.